Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagvatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagvatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, and we read till text number 8 yesterday. So, Sundari Priya Mataji, you want to read and continue for next 5-10 minutes? Can you please facilitate?
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I read the next verse, please?
Sure.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Yes, Bipul Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all devotees. Text 9. Manne dhana bijano rupo tapa sutto jas tejo prabhava balo purusho buddhi yoga narodhayana hi bhavanti parasya pumsho bhaktayo tutosho bhagavan gajya utho payo. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. Purport. No kind of material qualification is the means for satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, only by devotional service can the Lord be known. Bhaktamam abhijanati. Unless the Lord is pleased by the service of a devotee, the Lord does not reveal himself. Naham prakasya sarvasya yogamaya samabrito. This is the verdict of all searchers. Neither by speculation nor by material qualification can one understand or approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prahlad Maharaj actually in the previous chapters explained the same thing to his friends, that any kind of material qualification no way helps to go back to the Godhead and get the God's mercy. Only the devotion, love to the Lord, and sincere practice of the devotional service, the Lord reveals himself to the devotee and easily accessible to the devotee. And that is the verdict of all searchers. So, no speculation or material creation not at all required. No high birth, even as the previous verses says, even any class of person, man or woman, can go back to Godhead only by devotion. and get the knowledge of bhakti and devotional service. Back to Prabhuji. And here the example was given of Gajendra, who at the end of like getting killed by the crocodile, totally surrendered like Draupadi, and Lord answered back. So total surrender is needed to get Lord's mercy. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. A very, very similar prayer Mata Kunti is also praying in first canto, chapter 8. Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribhi Vedamana Madapuman. Janma, high birth, Aishwarya, wealth or opulence, Shruta, learning, Shri, wealth. All these often, in most cases, only there will be like a handful who may, after having all this, still be sincere devotees. But in most scenarios, they often become disqualification, because one gets proud of one's learning or one's wealth or one's high birth or one's beauty and things like that. So the real qualification is unflinching faith, devotion, whether one is a woman, example of Kunti Devi, Draupadi, whether one is an animal, example of Gajendra, whether one is not beautiful, Kubja and Shabari, whether one is not very learned, Dhruva and Maharaj was not very learned until he approached, he was just a child. And so many other examples are there that all these are secondary. The main qualification is bhakti. That's the qualification to know Krishna, to approach Krishna. It's a very important verse actually. Anyone else has any other comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is better. Nicely explained. One more point is the simple heart. Because when you have all these opulences are there, then the heart is sometimes not simple, because so many mind and intelligence are so involved. So,
Sorry, Prabhu, your voice is not clear. Or
I know. Yeah, I will talk.
Sorry about that, Prabhuji, we couldn't hear you properly. Anyone else? Yes, Sundari Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vipradvi sadyuguna yutad aravindana padavarvinda vibhukta swapacham varishtham manye tad arpita mano vachane hitartha pranam punati sakulam natu bhurimana. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai. If a Brahman has all 12 of the brahminical qualities as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahman, because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called brahmana is in a position of false prestige cannot purify even himself. Purport. Here is a statement by Prahlad Maharaj, one of the 12 authorities regarding the distinction between a devotee and a brahmana, expert in karma kanda or Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. There are 4 varnas and 4 ashrams which divide human society, but the central principle is to become a first-class pure devotee. It is said to be Hari Bhakti Shuddhaya. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Sastram Japastapa Apranayeva Dehasya Manadanam Lokararanjanam. If one is born in a high family like that of a brahmana, kshatriya or vaishya, but is not a devotee of the Lord, all his good qualification as a brahmana, kshatriya or vaishya are null and void. Indeed, they are considered decorations of a dead body. In this verse, Prahlad Maharaj speaks of the Vipras, the learned Brahmins. The learned Brahmanas is considered best among the division of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, but a devotee born in low Chandala family is better than such Brahmanas, not to speak of the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and others. A devotee is better than anyone, for he is in the transcendental position on the Brahman platform. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityan brahmabhutaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the mode of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Bhagavad Gita 14.26. The 12 qualities of a first-class Brahman, as stated in the book Sanat Sujata, are as follows. Janam cha satyam cha dhamma shrutam cha hi amatsaryam haris titikshana suya yajna cha danam cha dhriti shamascha mahavrata dvadhasya brahmanasya. The European and American devotees in the Krishna conscious movement are sometimes accepted as brahmanas, but the so-called class brahmanas are very much envious of them. In answer to such envy, Prahlad Maharaj says that one who has been born in Brahman family but is falsely proud of his prestigious position cannot even purify himself, not to speak of his family. Whereas if a Chandala, a low-born person, is a devotee and has fully surrendered on to the lotus feet of the Lord, he can purify his entire family. We have had actual experience of how Americans and Europeans, because of their full Krishna consciousness, has purified their whole family, so much so that a mother of a devotee at the time of her death inquired about Krishna with her last breath. Therefore, it is theoretically true that has been practically proven that a devotee can give the best service to his family, his community, his society and his nation. The foolish accuse a devotee of following the principle of escapism, but actually the fact is that a devotee is the right person to elevate his family. A devotee engages everything in the service of the Lord, and therefore he is always exalted. Jai. So here we see how Prahlad Maharaj is saying that if a brahmana has all the wonderful qualities as mentioned in the words from Sanat Sujata, and these qualities are actually, maybe Prabhuji can explain further that what these 12 qualities are really. You have to be quiet, you have to be silent, you have to be, from what I understand is that Bhagavad Gita explains that if one who is fully engaged in devotional service, even though they may not come to a proper their mind, activities, wealth, life, everything they are dedicating it to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even though they may not have a high birth, they may come from a Chandala dog eater family, but they still can transcend the the position, and because of the false prestige, the false ego that we have, due to the conditioning that I'm born in a higher class family, I am so and so, that disqualifies, so in the previous words we saw how beauty and knowledge and wealth, similarly the high birth is also a disqualification. But we see the example of the wives of the brahmana with so much love and innocence when the gopas came to beg to see if they had any food, and they would bring it to Krishna, and Krishna is hungry. The brahmanas were completely disqualified them, and they said, no, we are doing an important yajna. We don't have time for this. Go. But the brahmana's wife, they just, as soon as they heard, they had never even seen Krishna, but they collected everything they had in their home and they ran. Even though they were being chastised, they knew what their dharma was. They knew just by understanding. That is the higher principle, that they were completely in their mood were of surrender. But when the brahmanas saw that their wives in the end pleased the Lord, they understood that all our yajnas, all our qualification, all that, we could not understand that Supreme Personality of Godhead was right there asking for prasadam, and we couldn't even serve him. So what kind of the yajnas we are performing, that it doesn't even melt our heart. So that is the whole purpose, is not to really go beyond your birth. And yes, understand what Prahlad Maharaj is speaking here is that even though we may be our lower birth would disqualify us, but the transcendental position is of a devotee is much higher than a Brahman platform, and one who engages purely in devotional service does not really fall down, and they transcend the modes of material nature. And we see that even Srila Prabhupada was chastised when he was converting all the Western body devotees into brahmanas. All the Indian bodied brahmanas, they were chastising that this is completely wrong and this is not acceptable. But we see how so many wonderful devotees have changed not just their lives by following the brahminical qualities and being exemplary, but they have even their families, and immediately they have affected their disciples. So many generations now, the third, fourth generation is so many devotees have taken birth in the Western body and still practicing Krishna consciousness with a complete surrender, complete form. And on the other hand, we see so many brahminical. I speak for my family. We were born and brought up in a Gaudiya Saraswati family, but I see so many of my cousins and all of us, we didn't even know what Krishna consciousness really is. So I know all of us were so proud of being a Brahmin, and we never really understood what really it means. But now reading these purports really makes you realize that these are the qualities that the true knowledge, truth, mind control, sense control, detachment, tolerance, charity, or all these qualities are being peaceful. These are not given by birth, but they are the mercy of your Guru and Krishna. Unless we serve the Vaishnavas, we cannot imbibe those brahminical qualities. So that's my understanding. Prabhuji, please explain further. Excuse me if I misspoken something. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So nice. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj also, his father sent him. There was a kind of a debate that brahmanas, the caste brahmanas were saying we are brahmanas, we are the best, and they were not really following the principles of or the main essence of brahmana is bhakti. And then he went there, first glorified the brahmanas because they should have these qualities, but then he spoke about Vaishnava, how a Vaishnava is higher than a brahmana. Because when one has taken shelter of Krishna or Lord Vishnu, then one becomes a Vaishnava. And as Lord Chaitanya says, no, I'm not a brahmana, a shudra, vaishya, etc. My real position is Gopir Bharatur Pad Kamale or Das Das Dasanudas. So that really means to dedicate everything in the service of the Supreme Lord, irrespective of one's conditional background. And Prabhupada really proved this concept, because the Western-bodied devotees, they had totally unbrahminical background, and that's what this verse is saying. Even though one may be a dog eater, but one who is dedicated to Krishna's service through his body, mind, words, wealth, etc., such a devotee is better than a brahmana, a so-called brahmana. Because not only that devotee is doing the welfare for himself or herself, but Prahlad Maharaj is saying can purify his whole family. Whereas a so-called brahmana, who is puffed up with one's learning or puffed up with one's birth or cleanliness or charity or learning of scriptures, one cannot even help oneself, what to speak of one's family. And when Prabhupada is saying that, oh, even the mother of the devotees was asking about Krishna at the time of death, there have been so many cases like that. And I'm sure we all must be knowing of those cases in our community and things like that, where devotee takes and then later his or her parents also take. His Grace Gauranga Prabhu, very, very famous, everyone knows him. His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu. They joined the ashram at a very early age, and initially their parents were not so keen about their decision, or they didn't approve their decision, but later His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu was, someone was mentioning that when he went to his village back, the whole village was, celebrated like anything, and they practically washed his feet. That in our village a great saint has taken birth. And his parents were benefited, his village was benefited, everyone who is in connection with the devotee is benefited. We read that in the Ekadashi Mahatmya also. 100 generations it was read, we were discussing on Nirjala Ekadashi Day, 100 generations get benefit. Srimati Radharani speaks in Garga Samhita that anyone who does Ekadashi, 10 generations from the mother side, 10 from the father side, and 10 from the wife side, everyone gets benefited. So that's what a devotee is doing, not only just helping oneself by taking full shelter of Krishna, but also helping his or her family as well. It's the biggest thing one can do for others. And all these qualities are like zeros, the famous example. But when we add the one of Krishna, they have lot of value. Like charity is good, penance is good, learning scriptures is good. But if bhakti is not there, they are all zeros. 10 zeros or 100 zeros, they all have same value, that's 0. But when we add the one of bhakti, akinchana bhakti, then all these qualities, speaking truthfully, controlling the senses, observing vows, study of scriptures, they have lot of value. They can really help to make steady progress. But that one of bhakti is the essential, which makes the difference. And the famous words, Shasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarve Gunai Tatra Samasate Sura. All the divine qualities manifest in someone who is rendering Akinchana Bhakti or sincere devotion to Lord Hari. Any other comments or questions anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Bhadra. Dandavat everybody. As you mentioned, without the bhakti, and that's what the other previous acharyas are mentioning, that you can have all these qualities, but if these qualities without the bhakti produces only pride, it produces pride, and that's most important. And as far as the shloka which is in the purport here about the jnanam cha satyam cha daman sutim, that's what the shloka is, right? Yeah, 12 qualities. And those 12 qualities are the knowledge, truth, mind control, sense control, hearing, disinterestedness, shyness, tolerance, lack of envy, sacrifice, charity, fortitude, and peacefulness. So these are the 12 qualities, these are the 12 vows of the brahmanas, which is mentioned in the purport. Second thing is that Mataji mentioned about the pastimes of the brahmanas, Jagyapatnis. And she mentioned that they didn't know Krishna, but they brought the food. When the Krishna and Balram, when the cowherd boys came, then the brahmanas didn't give anything. But when the cowherd boys went to the brahmanas' patnis, wives, they took everything, and that is right. And they didn't know Krishna. So then the question is that, my question to her, or my question to all of you, that if they didn't know Krishna, then why would they go? If some boys comes up, you are performing a yajna, and some boys comes up and says, hey, we want to have the food, but I don't know them, so why did they go then? That question might be arise in the mind. Any answer for that? Right? She said that, and it's true, they didn't know him. So what is the reason?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Actually, that Brahman Protnis, they were associating with Purnamashi. So
Okay.
they were hearing about Krishna's pastime from Purnamashi. So
Okay.
they develop attraction. All of us, we have that attraction in our heart. But as soon as we have the association, right?
Can you hear me? I lost you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. So what I was saying that they associated with Mother Purnamashi Devi. And Purnamashi, because of her association, they developed the attraction for Krishna.
Yeah, but Prabhu, they were in Mathura. Brahmana's wives were in Mathura. They were not in Vrindavan.
Yeah, actually, that place is a border of, because I went to that place last time.
I know that. I know that place. I know the Jagyapatni's place. I know that. But your answer might be correct. But what I understand from the previous acharyas, that because they were in Mathura and they were the wives of the Brahmanas, and the Vrindavan is a place where there is a fruits and flowers and everything grows. So the Malinis, the wives of the Mali, what do you call in English, Mali?
Gardener.
Yes, gardeners' wives were going with the flowers to sell. They were Brajvasi ladies, and they were going to sell their flowers and the fruits to the Brahmanas' patnis in Mathura. And when they were going there, at that time, they would talk always, ladies have I'm sorry, no offense. It's natural. Ladies can talk. No offense here. When ladies meet other ladies, they can talk. Men are sometimes reserved. We have seen it. So when the ladies meet other ladies, even though they don't know, but they would talk. It's just by they have that feelings. So these Malinis, they would talk with Brahmana's patnis all the time. And what they talk about? Krishna, because they were Brajvasi. They were from Brajvasi. So they would always talk about Krishna all the time. You see, and Krishna did this, Krishna did that. Krishna was wearing this dress. Krishna was going, he killed this demon. So they were all talking. So that the Brahmana's Patni's guard that got attracted by hearing about Krishna, just like Rukmini. Rukmini had not seen Krishna, but she had heard about him, right? So that is called that is special word is used. I have to look at it in my book. Anyhow, it is the person has developed that love, but even the person has not seen that person, but because heard about it, and that was the reason when the cowherd boys came to ask the Brahmana's Patni, and as soon as they heard, oh, Krishna and Balaram is here, so right away they, without caring for their husbands or brothers or sisters or anybody, they just took everything and then. So that was the reason. I'm sorry, I'm speaking, but when the Mataji told about this pastime, I thought I should add this point because, to get the more details about it. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any other comments or questions anyone has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This one question. Prabhupada is mentioning here the qualities of the brahmanas. And I believe that's the same what Lord Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 18.42, that peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, and knowledge. So that we understand that if one has these qualities, but he is not a devotee, then Prabhupada is saying that his service is null and void, like a blank check, no use to anybody. But other way around, if you are a devotee, you are serving a Lord, but who do not develop these qualities, is that also becomes null and void?
Very nice question, Prabhu. So, Bhadra Prabhu, looks like you want to answer. Please go ahead.
Well, if you are devotees and if you're performing bhakti, then automatically Subhalas had already quoted that verse, right? Sarvai Guna, you quoted that verse. Said when you are devotee, if you are devotee of the Lord and if you are performing devotional service with bhakti, then all qualities are there within all of our hearts. We all have these qualities. But unfortunately, because of the Maya and because of the outer material energy, these qualities are not what you call not developing, not coming. It's not fully effulgently. You can say is you can say that it manifests. You see, it's already there in all living. It doesn't matter who they are. You see, so when you're performing a bhakti with love and devotion, then these qualities are automatically going to be there. But what happens sometimes in the Brahmanas' cases, and I'm not here to criticize any Brahmanas, but here it mentions, yeah, Brahman can have the knowledge, he can be mind control, he can be sense control, he can be many things. But then at the same time, if he doesn't have that love and devotion for the Lord, if I have these qualities, and if the Brahman doesn't have that love and devotion for the Lord, you see, then it's Sridhar Swami mentioned. That's what I mentioned here. And Suvilas explained very nicely. Bhakti is the main point. And if that is not there, bhakti is not there, then it just produces pride. So I can have these qualities, but because I have no love and devotion, I don't have bhakti, I don't have devotional service in my life, then what happens? It all becomes pride, and I become proud of that. And that's what Srila Prabhupada was facing when he was in India. And I'm not here to criticize Brahmanas in India. I'm not here that. But he had to go through that. On the other side, the Westerners, they For the Westerners, they were coming from the military families. And I'm not here to criticize them, but that was the reality. But they fully surrendered to the pure devotee of the Lord. For them, their life was just Srila Prabhupada. And here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning what the example of the mother is mentioning. That was a Kartikeya. I think it was Kartikeya. I have to ask the senior devotees. I can ask Anand Manjari. His mother, when his mother was leaving, Kartikeya was a very staunch devotee of Srila Prabhupada. So when his mother was leaving, her mother called out. And so that's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning at the example. His mother called out, "Is your there Krishna is going to come?" And he said, "Yes." And then she left. And then they went to Srila Prabhupada and asked Srila Prabhupada, "This is what happened." Srila Prabhupada said, she went back. See? So it was bhakti, fully surrender. And I see Subila so many times he keeps mentioning about this, surrendering to spiritual master, surrendering his instructions, surrender bhakti. And I'm happy that he keeps mentioning this point. I hope this helps answer to your question.
I agree. Part of your answer, Prabhu. What my question was, we assume that, okay, I am doing bhakti. One as does the bhakti, then he will have automatically these qualities. Yes, I agree that point, but not necessary. Other way around is, yes, I am doing bhakti, but I am puffed up, as Shivavilas Prabhu said in the just couple of minutes ago. That if one is a puffed up, that okay, look at how much bhakti I am doing, and that guy is not doing anything. That guy is just wasting his time. So I'm feeling too much proud of myself on that bhakti without developing these qualities in myself.
But you Umesh Prabhu, you know that if I am puffed up in my bhakti, then I will not last long, isn't it? And the qualities are not going to develop in my heart.
Yeah, that was exactly my question. Then it becomes the null and void, even if I'm doing the bhakti. That's exactly what my question. And
that's Umesh Prabhu, that's our principle is Pranadapi Sunichena, isn't it? Doesn't matter how high are you go in your bhakti. Doesn't matter how many years you perform bhakti, how high you go. As you go higher in the bhakti, actually you feel more humble, isn't it? The quality of the devotee, of the great personalities are that whereas the devotee is going higher and higher in the devotional service, he is more and more becoming humble. And that is the heart. And it happens automatically in the pure bhakti, isn't it? It happens. And that's why we see 2 days ago we read about yesterday Prabir mentioned about the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Look at his humbleness. Now, he was not pretending to be like that. He was feeling that way because because of his humbleness and because he was on the most elevated platform, isn't it? So if I'm puffed up, and those qualities are not going to come. And the main quality is the humbleness. And Suvilas mentioned so many times this all the classes. Bhakti, humbleness, humble is the main point in our devotional service, humility. And yesterday Prabhu mentioned very nicely about the Krishna's presence. Thank you, Prabhu. I hope that helps.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So in the beginning, the person may not have these qualities, and the person may try to follow bhakti. Depending upon the seriousness and the sincerity with which one is rendering bhakti, these qualities will manifest. And we see that in most of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, how they were not initially from a very great background, but they sincerely followed Srila Prabhupada's instructions. They gave up all the bad habits and took all the good habits, naturally. So now the question may come, as you said, like I'll just like to correct one point here, that you said even if someone has bad qualities, or even if someone is rendering Mishra Bhakti, doing kirtan to get name fame, or doing charity to get name fame, but doing in the right cause, giving to, let's say, construct temple, but it's not pure bhakti because he wants, oh, my name should come, make sure my name comes in the top list, otherwise I will not give you tomorrow. It's not pure bhakti. Still, there is little value there. There is value there. Someone may chant Krishna's name, hey, Hare Krishna, people are fools. There is still value there. It is not bhakti, certainly not pure bhakti, but the person knowingly, unknowingly chanted, knowingly, unknowingly did good. If somehow be the other, he takes to pure bhakti, then those qualities will manifest more rapidly. But even unknowingly doing that bhakti, we cannot say that it is null and void. Or even Mishra Bhakti, it is not null and void. It will help one, maybe not in this lifetime, maybe 10 lifetime later, maybe 100 lifetime later, one get a favorable. So that little, even if one unknowingly chanted Hare Krishna, or said something wrong, but chanted Hare Krishna, that person will get benefit. It will never go in vain. Even little progress, even little one Hare Krishna will never go in vain. So just a little point. Whereas all the so-called good qualities without bhakti, Shrama eva hi kevalam, that famous point verse comes. So now what we should do is, this Mahatma Prabhu mentioned, should we work on the qualities or should we work on pure bhakti? That's a very important question. Or will I get all these qualities of charity, of sense control, tolerant, non-enviousness? I should just forget about all these and just focus on pure bhakti. Should that be our approach, or should the other extreme? So he mentioned it's kind of, they work hand in hand. I really like the for example, is Shravanam more important or Kirtanam more important? Both are important. Good Shravanam will lead to good Kirtan. Good Kirtan will lead to good Shravanam. When we chant sincerely, we will lead to, it will bring more inspiration to hear, to serve. When we do nice service and nice hearing, it will lead us to better chanting. And it's like a cycle, they're helping hand in hand. So we cannot say, oh, just chanting is 99% and just forget everything else. But to come to that chanting, or pure chanting, we need good service. We need good association. We need good Shravanam. And all that will help in good chanting, better chanting. Better chanting will lead to more service, more pure service. Better consciousness during service. That will lead to more nicer chanting. So all these qualities also, I have to introspect in my heart. Oh, last time I got angry. Oh, last time I didn't do this thing nicely. I was not very clean, or I was very miser, or I was very proud of something I did. So I have to really introspect and continue rendering bhakti, because my bhakti is certainly nowhere close to pure bhakti. So does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Also, one more point. Thank you, Suvilas. Also, the point is that, and I'm telling myself, I have come with so much garbage when I come to Krishna consciousness, right? And the garbage is there within my heart, right? So when I'm performing devotional service, because of my material qualification from this life, from outside world, I might be do something good in Krishna consciousness, right? Now, because when it happens, then this is a society where everybody likes to praise you. Oh, Prabhu, you did a good thing. You did a good thing. This you did a good thing. You did a good kirtan. You did a good class. You gave so much money to do Rath Yatra, or you did this and that. And you hear this thing. But it's up to me individually, to me, to see what I am thinking. Now, because of the garbage within my heart, and this is reality, garbage within my heart, I can be puffed up. Oh, yeah, I did it. I'm the one, isn't it? Because of the profit, distinction, adoration, subtle sex desires, as you had mentioned before in previous classes. So that is there. But the pure devotee of the Lord, like Srila Prabhupada, when he said, you did, Swamiji, you did great. He said, no, it is my spiritual master's mercy. So I'm just instrument, did it. See. So that's where, when you say the introspective, that's where he's mentioning. That's where we have to be introspective of ourselves. That am I going to be puffed up by someone? And this society is where we are brought up from the childhood, right? From the childhood, mother says to son, if son does something, mother, and at that encouragement is also needed at the same time to the child, when the child is growing up. But the point is, as we go more and more in bhakti, it is ultimately it is offering to the Krishna, offering everything to my spiritual master, and spiritual master is offering to Krishna. See? And that's where we have to. So point is that we go on, and as the time goes, Krishna will purify. Krishna knows what the bad qualities I have in my heart. But if I have sincere desire to serve, then Krishna will purify those whatever I have, those shortcomings. Whatever I have, that Krishna will purify. So we just go on in the service. Otherwise, we can find so many faults in so many devotees. Right? It's reality. But we just introspect ourselves, and we just go on in the service. And then Krishna will take care of it ultimately. He's going to do it. He will do it because I have desire to serve him. To serve him means I want to have relationship with him, and to have relationship with him means I will have to come to the higher platform. Okay, so that's his understanding. Thank you. I hope what I'm saying is helping me. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, I think it's time. We will stop here and continue tomorrow with the next verse. Granth Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vedic Gaur Bhaktavind ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare